Okay, into the desert, baby.
Y'all are traveling side by side with these camels who have all of your stuff on it, as well as the other party members' stuff. Normally the desert would be super hot, but it is a little after the middle of winter. It's about 80 degrees during the day. A little bit windy, but for the most part it's fairly warm. The sort of sandy, grassy dunes start to fade away, and you're in basically all sand. As far as the eye can see, you see lots of dunes and hills. To the north, it looks like there are some mountains very far off, and to the south, you can only see like more desert.
I'll take off my trench coat and I'll say, reminds me of my sauna.
So y'all are walking and a little sweaty, but you see Abby sort of trudging along in front of the pack of everybody. And then the sun goes down over the horizon, and then it gets extremely cold extremely quickly.
I'll put my trench coat on and I'll say, doesn't remind me of my sauna anymore.
Erilyn thinks that we should stop for the night, kind of set up some camping supplies.
I agree, we should take a rest for sure.
You wake up pretty chilly, but the sun is starting to rise. You know, there's like sand all over everything.
Is there like sand in my mouth and stuff?
No, it's just like maybe like a whole bunch of sand in like your beard and stuff. It's kind of like whipping winds throughout the night. So, Abby, during the day you did pretty well, but the night just kind of like chilled you to the bone. Yeah, so you're kind of exhausted from your chilly sleep. Y'all head out. Far off, there's kind of some sort of scraggly tree, it looks like. And then just past it, you kind of see a shape that's past the tree. It looks like it's like directly in line of your sight.
Is it moving?
The tree?
No, the shape.
No, it doesn't look like it's moving.
Are we headed towards it?
It's kind of off to like at an angle from the direction that you're traveling.
I'll nudge Shizeno and I'll say, hey, Shizeno, what do you think that is?
Yeah, so it looks like past the tree, the shape that you can make out is, it looks like an old shambles of some sort of stone hut.
Yeah, it looks like some ruins, a stone ruins.
You think we should check it out?
Up to you. You're the leader.
What about you, Abby? Do you think we should check it out?
I'm down.
I'll call ahead to Erilyn. Hey, Erilyn, you see that, those ruins over there?
Oh yeah, I guess that's what that is. Yeah, what about it?
You think we should check it out? Might be something dangerous hiding in there, or something friendly.
She says, "Yeah, you know what? You can check it out. We'll go on ahead for a little bit, and then we'll stop. So we'll go up ahead maybe 15 minutes."
Well, if it is something dangerous, isn't there strength in numbers?
That's true, but I don't really. I mean, what would it be really?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you on T live this far out, but it might be something like that.
This far out might be a little too far for most of them. Yeah, you know what? I'll go on ahead with Team 3. I'll send Team 1 with you.
Alrighty then.
Just so we can kind of keep our bearings, since I kind of know the way that we're supposed to be headed.
All right.
It's up to you. I mean, you don't have to go over there.
No, I mean, I want to check it out. I am a curious cat. I guess we'll see 15 minutes up the road.
All right. And so they continue walking up there.
Do we bring our camels, or are the camels going to keep following Erilyn?
Erilyn. Yeah, they're going to stay with her. I mean, there's only 2 of them, but they have like all of everybody's stuff on them.
So I'll split from the path and I'll say, all right, teams. Let's go check out those ruins.
All right, so Team 1 is following behind. As you approach this hut, the ground shakes, and you see
Cool.
You see 3 ridges start to move towards the party, and then spread out around 6. You see 6 ridges, and it looks like they kind of like cut through the middle of the 2 groups. And so then there's 3 ridges kind of circling Team 1 and Team 2. So as the ground shakes and rolls, it then bursts open and reveals a terrible armor-plated, large, bullet-shaped monstrosity with a huge snapping maw and short, powerful legs as one of them launches up out of the ground. Roll for initiative.
It has legs?
So this first one jumps about 15 feet into the air. Shizeno, you are knocked prone, as this thing lands on you. How is everybody positioned, would you say? Wyatt's in front, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And I would try to be as close to the middle of Wyatt and Abby as I could, whichever position that puts me in. So I would be trying to protect the two of them.
So we'll say Abby's in back and Arrow is on the left. Arrow's turn. So you see the way I've positioned you is Wyatt is in front, you are on the left, Shizeno is on the right, and Abby is in the back in like a diamond shape. Shizeno is on the ground. One of these creatures has jumped out of the sand and landed on top of Shizeno. And then there are two ridges, which you would guess are kind of like the fins for these monsters. One is to the southeast and one is to the west, about 30 feet, each about 30 feet.
Throw my sword at the one that is on top of Shizeno.
Your sword kind of slashes like a part of their plated natural armor and slices them.
That's it. That's all I can do.
Then it is Wyatt's turn.
Have we tried talking to them? Howdy! Can you understand me? Say anything?
No.
Well, all right then. And I will attempt to attack the one that Arrow just stabbed.
Line up the hits.
I'm gonna try and hit it again with my second crossbow,
That hits.
and that's it for my turn.
Abby, this thing launches at you and then pushes you 5 feet back, basically like you're up against Wyatt right now. So when this thing launched at you, it kind of used its claws and like pushed you backwards, and you get some cuts on you as well. Arrow. Yeah, so this thing pushes you into Abby. Then it is Shizeno's turn.
So I'm still prone, and it's still standing right next to me, right?
It is on top of you.
I'd have to use a strength check to get out,
Yeah.
but I can still attack from the ground, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that then. I'm just going to swing my, well, I guess more of a stab with my nagamaki at it above me.
You go to slash at it, and it just kind of like glances off its natural armor.
All right. I'll try one more time with my extra attack. It is even worse. Okay. Then I'm going to have Kadama attack them.
Yeah, so that hits. Kadama pecks at its eyes. Seems like it's blinded.
Hell yeah.
Then it is Abby's turn.
I'm going to cast Arcane Hand. I create a large, shimmering, translucent hand of force in an unoccupied space, basically right next to me. I'm going to use Grasping Hand. Wait, are these things huge or smaller?
They are, smaller.
I'm going to use Grasping Hand, try to use the strength score of this hand, which is 26 plus 8, to try to grab this thing.
Yeah, that is grabbed.
And I can use a bonus action to try to crush it, assuming I do grab it.
Yes.
Like a lobster.
Yeah, like it squeaks a little bit as you kind of crush this thing a little bit.
Yeah, the one all up on me.
Shizeno, this thing chomps on your shoulder.
Ow.
Yeah.
Stung a little bit.
You kind of hear Shizeno's armor kind of crunch a little bit.
Is the one that's on Shizeno the one that I've been attacking?
Yeah.
We've all been attacking the same one, right?
No, everybody except for Abby has.
Yeah, I'm attacking the one on me.
Does the one that we've been like wailing on, does it look like bloodied at all or anything?
Does not look bloodied.
Yee.
I mean, I'm not either, so it's okay.
I guess I'm also not. It was only like a little more than a fifth of my health, but that's fine.
So it's Arrow's turn. Remember, your sword is on the ground now.
A Valari to me. I'm gonna Valari the one. I'm gonna bring the sword back to me, and I'm gonna aim for the one that I was already attacking.
Creatures aren't infected with taint, right?
No.
The weapon flies towards your hand at double speed. Roll at advantage, -1 die of disadvantage for each additional target. What does that mean exactly?
That means if you were to like try to hit more than one person.
If you were to hit 2 things would be regular, 3 things would be disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna hit the one thing.
Right. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be able to hit the other two anyway because they're not like in a line from where you are and your sword.
Take 1d6 damage. Yeah, I take 1d6
Okay.
damage. Can I cast my branding smite? I think it's a bonus action. Thaumaturgy.
Yeah. So this thing squelches a little bit as some blood starts leaking out of its eyeballs.
Ewy.
What is the thing that you used?
The branding smite. It's Legacy of Avernus Thaumaturgy cantrip.
Yeah. So as this thing kind of slashes by the sword flying by it, kind of gets whipped in the eye with the sword, and this like blinding light kind of shoots out of it.
Is it still alive?
Yeah, but it does look bloody.
Okay.
So Wyatt's turn.
Wyatt is attacking with his hand crossbows. Surprise, surprise.
Which one are you attacking?
The one that I've been attacking.
That hits.
Cool. And then I'm going to try and shoot my next hand crossbow.
That also hits.
And then I'm going to use my action surge and go again. Wow, these dice are doing me right today.
Hits.
And then again.
Just misses.
All right, well.
The arrow kind of like scrapes across the top of its natural armor and then flies off.
Lame.
The other one's turn. Let's see.
The other one.
Is it still held up by that hand?
Yeah, it's still being grappled.
Does it need to make a save to get out of that?
Yes. Any saves against this thing are contested strength.
So this thing is like struggling in the air. And then the other one goes arrow. Okay, so this thing goes to bite at you, and you just kind of move a little bit out of the way, and it misses. It's Shizeno's turn.
All right. Well, I'm still pinned, so noggin rocket to the stomach.
That misses.
No, wait.
That misses. Glances off of its armor again.
Extra attack.
That hits.
Thank you.
You get it
Okay.
like in its jaw as it's like trying to snap at you.
All right, I'm gonna have Kadama go for it. 1.
We'll deal with that in a second.
I had to complain about him getting the good rolls.
Yeah, I was going to say, this guy does seem hungry.
He is on fire, for what it's worth.
Yeah, so this thing chomps and swallows Kadama.
Technically, it is benign flames, it says specifically. I was thinking it had damage, but it doesn't.
Lame.
It's just light for 10 feet and dim light 10 feet beyond that.
It's like all the cleric and paladin radiant fire that it's just like, no, it's not real fire. It's spectral, holy fire.
I shouldn't have said anything, but oh well.
And then it's Abby's turn.
I'm going to start by using my bonus action to crush it since I have it grappled. And then I'm going to use Forceful Hand. I'm going to attempt to push it away from me. So it's going to be moved 5 plus a number of feet equal to 5 times my spellcasting ability modifier. So I can move it 25 feet. Could I basically push this one into the other one to try to get it off Shizeno?
Yeah.
Just crash them into each other. And then after being pushed, the hand moves with the target to remain within 5 feet of it.
Is it still in the hand, or you pushed it?
No, I did the bonus with the grass first, and then forceful's like open hand push.
Okay.
So the open hand is within 5 feet of it, but it is no longer grappled.
All right. We'll say it is prone. The first one's turn is going to bite at Shizeno.
Miss.
It is Arrow's turn.
I'm going to power up.
Gonna go Super Saiyan. It's got to scream for 20 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to swing at it.
That hits. How do you want to kill this one?
I want to slice him open down the back, try to see if I can get Kadama out.
Yeah, so you slice this thing clear in half, both of its like inner edges kind of like searing as you slice through it, and Kadama kind of flops out, all covered in like bile and stuff.
Does he look dead?
He doesn't look dead, but he looks defeated for a little bit.
And then I'm also going to do my bonus action, Wails from the Grave. Immediately after you deal sneak attack damage to a creature on your turn, you can target a second creature. So the other one is going to take psychic damage.
Wyatt's turn.
There's only one left, right?
No, there's 2. There's one that is prone on the ground next to Shizeno, and then there is one on the opposite side in front of Arrow.
Okay, what does it mean when something's prone? Do I get like advantage or anything?
Yeah, that's not hit.
I'll try to hit that one again with my second crossbow.
That hits.
And that is it for me.
This one gets up from prone. Then it's going to attack Shizeno.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, kind of barely, but yeah. I did.
This thing chomps down on your other shoulder.
Ow.
Then the other one goes to attack Arrow.
He does not hit.
So it goes to
Too
chomp
fast.
at you, and yeah, you move. Shizeno's turn.
So the one that was on me is dead, right?
Yeah.
Do either of there's 2 more?
Yeah.
Either of them look particularly hurt over the other?
Yeah, the one that's near you looks a little more hurt.
Then I'm just gonna run at him and swing my Nagamaki.
That hits.
All right. And then I'm gonna use my extra attack.
Okay, that hits.
And Kadama seems like he's fine now, I guess, so he'll go for him as well.
That misses.
All right. That's all I got.
Then it is Abby's turn.
I'm going to clenched fist with my arcane hand and just try to wallop this thing.
That hits. Yeah, so this thing, you crack it right in the face, and its jaw kind of like splits a little bit, and some blood trickles out. It's like one of those slow motion like boxing cameras.
Wonderful. And then I'm going to stand up and start moving closer to everyone else. Just realized I never actually stood back up.
Arrow's turn.
I'm going to go for the one that Abby just attacked. That's close to me, right?
Yeah, it's basically between Shizeno and Abby.
Can I get to it without hitting anybody else?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for that one. Am I still fully charged, or do I have to charge the other one, the super one again?
It stays for a certain number of rounds, so
So I'm still like all powered up and everything?
Yep.
Awesome.
Its number of turns equal to your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so 4.
Hits.
And then I'm going to use my Whales from the Grave again, too, with that attack. So the other one will take psychic damage.
And do they have to be near each other for that?
Target a second creature that you can see within 30 feet of the first creature.
Oh, within 30 feet. Okay. Then it is Wyatt's turn.
Okay, time to attack again. I'm going for the bloodied one. I'm just gonna move so that I don't hit anyone.
That hits.
Wanna try again?
That does not hit.
Okay, never mind then.
Shizeno, you're going to get an attack of opportunity as this thing tries to run by you.
Hell yeah.
That hits. Yeah, so this thing starts to like run by you and you like kind of whack it and you're like, where are you going? But then it goes to chomp Wyatt.
Yeah, that hits.
This thing like chomps into your leg.
I'm going to use Overwatch and swap places with Wyatt.
Oh.
So yeah, Wyatt, you appear where Shizeno was, and you see Shizeno in the spot where you just were.
Is Shizeno looking bloodied?
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, you see Shizeno's armor is like crinkled in at the shoulders, and then the leg armor is also crinkled in. You see a little bit of blood trickling down the leg.
I'll probably get my ass kicked anytime I get hit from now on, so I can probably only take one more.
I have a healing potion if you need it, Shizeno. Thanks a bunch.
I'll just be breathing heavy and give you a thumbs up. That'll actually
Okay, glad.
Then it is the other one's turn. This one's going to go after Arrow again.
Hits. Uncanny dodge.
Was that half damage?
Yeah.
So it was going for your legs, but it ended up just getting your toes.
Thank God. I'm still not bloodied. Hanging in there.
It is Shizeno's turn.
All right. I guess I'll attack the one that was trying to attack Wyatt.
That hits.
And I'll do my extra attack.
That misses.
Yeah. Then Kadama will go for it.
That hits. How does Kadama want to kill this thing?
Are you serious?
Nice.
Love it.
Man, if only I didn't roll so many ones, this would have never happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to eat out the eyes. I don't know if that would kill it, but where it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was on its last leg anyway, so it was kind of like limping and stuff. That, yeah, rips out its eye and it just kind of bleeds out.
It's going to eat them for sure.
But then it is Abby's turn.
Turn the clenched fist at the last one and try to punch it.
That hits. So this thing looks bloodied. So same thing again. This time it's like it's like an uppercut. Arrow's turn.
Hey, don't we have another team with us?
They're also fighting a group of these.
Am I close enough to the next one, the last one, to attack it?
Yeah, actually, it's like right next to you.
I'm going to swing at it.
That hits. This thing looks like it's on its last leg as well.
I'm going to take my action surge and attack again.
That hits. How do you want to kill this?
I'm gonna just like run it through from the face with the sword, and I'm gonna say, "Looks like you should have stayed over there."
Just as you like pull the sword out of this thing, you see Gizmo kind of tosses one of these things over, and you see his hand is covered in like this like green kind of like acid stuff, and this thing's face is kind of like half melted, and he says, well, I was gonna ask if you needed a hand, but well, you kind of killed it before I could show off.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool.
He shoots you finger guns.
I finger gun back at him.
Are we out of initiative, I assume?
Yeah.
I'm going to use a 3rd level Cure Wounds on Shizeno.
Thank you.
Veron says, best to heal up a little bit. The last one we were fighting kind of ran away after we killed the other two.
Great.
I'm still bloodied, just so you're all aware.
I have many more spell slots. It's my whole thing as a wizard. I just get it back for free. Are we going to go after that last one that got away, or just forget about it?
Veron says, I don't even know like where it went. I mean, it went underground, so I have no idea if it's still around here or not.
Colin, it's mommy.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, seriously.
I will use a 2nd level Cure Wounds on Shizeno.
I am 1 hit point above bloodied.
Nice.
The scabs are starting to form.
Oh, good. Or I guess I could just do a short rest. Well, I guess that'd be up to all of you.
I mean, I'm sure we'll rest soon. Let's catch up with Erilyn. We'll see if she's okay with us taking a short rest.
Wait to take a rest. I'm going to use my second wind just so that I'm not as hurt.
So you're checking out the hut.
Oh yeah, we should. All right, let's check out this hut, people. I'll lead the pack to the hut.
This hut looks like it's in shambles and like pretty much like falling apart. There's like a tattered cloth kind of in front of what once was a doorway. But you can see kind of past that. The floor is kind of full of sand. There's a bunch of smaller skulls on the ground, as well as a bunch of shattered glass and old rusty cages.
Place looks kind kind of creepy and gross.
Investigation check to see if I see any like traps or anything.
Perception check. No, you don't see any traps or anything. You do see, it looks like there's a gold coin on like a shelf in the corner. And then you can kind of make out under the sand, it looks like there's about 6 more gold coins.
I see a couple or a few gold coins. I'm gonna try and grab those.
Yep. You
Can
grab those.
I can I do some sort of a check to see if anything in here seems like magical?
Yeah, make me an Arcana check. You can tell that the shattered glass on the ground, it looked like some sort of potion bottles that were broken open.
I'm gonna go in and grab the gold. How much gold is that?
7,
How many people are with us?
8, I
So-
believe.
I mean, I'll just keep the gold and I'll say next round of drinks is on me.
Could I do some sort of like history check from being somewhat close to here if I would have like heard stories about these things growing up?
Sure. You know that these things like popped up 25 years ago or so. They seem to be some sort of hybrid monster thing that has some sort of magic that like brought this into existence.
Yeah, I'll relay that a little bit of information to everybody.
Can I do an investigation check on the coins that I pick up to see if they are familiar to me?
Yeah, you know that these coins are from Everesca, but they're still made of gold and they'll hold up. If anything,
Wow.
they might be worth a little more to collectors.
Truly some insight that I gained there. Very much worth it.
The coins of a long dead civilization.
Yeah. Well, isn't Everesca the mountain?
Yeah, that's like haunted by a magical mist and like
Mm,
ghosts and or zombies and or some cult or something. Nobody can really decide.
spicy. Ah, these look like Everesca coins.
Cool. It's always nice to see, I mean, I guess you could call them sort of relics. My dad always finds, well, I mean, he claims they're little bits and pieces from there. So it's cool to actually see something that's definitely theirs.
You know what, Abby? And I'll hand you a coin. I'll say you can have one of them.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I mean, you've learned so much about my family, Wyatt. What's your family like? You can kill some time while we're walking.
Well, my family is well, my mom is very similar to yours. She likes bacon, but she and my dad they run a ranch together. Actually, they breed axe beaks. We train them and we sell them, and sometimes we also make sweet, delicious meats out of them. And we also grow corn on our farm. So both my parents are very hardworking, very kind people. But yeah, that's what my family's like.
Axe beaks would have been great for crossing the desert.
Well, maybe we can. I mean, we are going towards where they live. Maybe we can pick up a couple axe beaks on the way back. Who knows?
Do you guys like fry them up or make jerky or?
Well, you can do a lot of things with an axe beak. Tell you that. They'll feed a family for a season. That's for sure. But we roast them. Sometimes my family gets together and we have a big axe beak roast. You can boil the innards to make some gravy, which is real good.
Yeah, so you catch up with Erilyn as Wyatt's finishing up their spiel. What did you find over there?
We found these coins, and I'll flip her one of the coins. We also ran into some sort of armored burrowing beast, but we took care of them.
She catches the coin and says, "Don't throw things at me." And then she says, "We'll have to keep an eye out for those then."
I'll say, yeah, especially considering one of them got away from us. But we did get a little bit beat up by them. Do you mind taking a short rest?
We could do that, but I kind of want to get a little more distance, while the sun's still up.
Some members of my team are pretty beat up. You might need to shield us if we run into anything else, just FYI.
Yeah, I think we should be fine.
All right, lead the way then.
Would I know the name of those things?
Yeah, they are called boulettes. Y'all walk maybe another 3 hours through the desert, and you can kind of start to see small boulders off in the distance. Erilyn says, "This should be a good place to take a rest."
I'll say, all righty then, and I'll tip my hat over my head, and I'll lean back and go to sleep, just like in the middle of the desert.
So y'all wake up. Wyatt looks a little chilly. Didn't sleep well, but you're still fine. And Erilyn says, "All right, Is everybody ready to head up?
I'm ready.
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
So a couple hours after you start walking, Erilyn points out towards the path that you're taking, and she says, "Oh, I can see the tip of the watchtower out there." She said, "That's kind of where we're headed." You can see like kind of very far off in the distance what she's talking about. You can see these like people kind of poking their heads up from some of these smaller boulders off in the distance.
Sand people.
As you're kind of looking around and you see them, you see off to the north, it looks like there's some stone shapes that looks like they are probably ruins. You can tell that they used to be parts of buildings, but they're all sort of crumbled now.
Hey, Erilyn, what's the deal with these ruins?
I mean, this desert's probably littered with ruins. There used to be a bunch of like floating cities and stuff out here.
You know who the inhabitants were?
I think one of them was Netheril, big floating city.
Say, what happened in Netheril?
Did you ever hear of the Sundering?
I have not.
Basically, like something to do with the gods and magic, and they got mad and took away magic for a little bit, and then so anything that was kind of using magic,
Yeah, places just disappeared.
disappeared, crashed into the
Fell
desert.
from the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have anything levitating them anymore. But like isn't that where that ship was? They were from like either a group of people or entire place that disappeared. Blue Dragon lady.
Their whole like island just popped out of existence.
Yeah.
Well, very interesting.
She says, "I'm guessing these people are sort of the nomads that you hear about. Remaining descendants of people who lived out here.
People can live out here?
I mean, not in one spot for very long. Being in the desert and all, they're probably scavenging or getting stuff from somewhere else and passing through.
Do you know if they're friendly?
I'm not sure. They haven't attacked us yet, though. So maybe they're just if we leave them alone, maybe they'll leave us alone."
Fair enough.
Then you see a couple of them run off towards like where those ruins are, and then one of them starts to scream, and they kind of slow down as they're walking.
Like screams of pain?
Yeah,
Can I see them?
yeah.
Are they being attacked?
It doesn't look like it.
Can I do like a perception check to figure out why they might be screaming?
Yeah, so you can kind of see the sand beneath their feet is sort of like rumbling a little bit. Probably seen this before, like if there's like a bunch of like a herd of animals going by, it looks like the ground kind of shakes a little bit. That's happening near them, but you see it in this kind of circular pattern on the ground, and then they disintegrate.
Like they
Mhm.
they like into dust?
Mhm.
I'll say, anybody else see that?
That
say,
seems like a big stinky bad thing.
Yeah, maybe
I'll-
we shouldn't go near that stuff.
What if whatever it was catches up with us?
I mean, how far away was it?
About 60 feet.
Detect magic is 30 feet. It could be like a warding thing, so if you get too close, it gets you, or...
Hey, Erilyn, you see that?
I did. That's kind of disturbing.
Think we have to worry about it?
It might be a leftover mythalar from one of the crashing cities. They were usually like protective barriers and stuff, kind of like what we have at the Harper Hub, but a lot bigger and a lot more powerful.
Where do you think the edges of this mythalar is or are?
I'd say probably somewhere where that person descended.
Hopefully we ain't headed towards another part of it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be weird if it was, in our path over here. That seems kind of off to the north. I don't think it would. And usually they're like sphere shaped, I think. So I doubt it would arc all the way out here.
Fair enough. And I'll keep moving if everybody else is moving as well.
Yeah, I'll cast Detect Magic. It lasts for 10 minutes. I'll stand sort of near the front of everybody because it's a 30-foot range. So if I suddenly feel a bunch of magic in front of me, I can tell us to stop while we're still pretty close to this.
You're getting like pulses of like magic from the north, but then as you move to the east, it kind of like dies down.
Pass it on to everybody as we go. There is definitely something emanating from the north, but the further east we go, the weaker it gets, so we should be good.
Say, all right.
You continue on. Y'all make it to this large watchtower that kind of pierces the sky. It's about 3 stories tall, but it's very like skinny, and after the first story it looks like a lot of the wood has been replaced with like scavenged wood. Erilyn kind of ties up the camels outside. She says, "All right, this is the place. And she goes up to the door and knocks. Then you hear somebody from behind the door. They say, by the eye of the crow, what brings you here? So everybody except for Wyatt sees when this person says, by the eye of the crow, what brings you here, he kind of like tugs at part of his shirt. And then when Erilyn responds, she puts her hand over where, like an open palm over like her heart. And then she shakes her head no and says, we're the group from the West Tree. So it seems like they're speaking in some sort of secret code. And then the door opens up.
Does it seem like thieves can't?
Oh, yes. If you know Thieves' Cant, then yes.
Okay, I know Thieves' Cant.
They open the thing, and then they said, are you looking for a fence? And then Erilyn says, we don't mean you any harm, and no, we are... And then you assume that West Tree is like a predetermined code name for your group.
I mean, I don't know that, but...
Right. Arrow knows that.
I mean, unless it seemed important, I probably wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, so then the door opens up, and Erilyn says, all right, we can grab the packs and head inside.
Okay, so I'll grab a pack and I'll head inside.
Same.
Grab as much as I can carry and head in.
You go inside, and it's a lot less windy in here, but it seems like this tower is kind of barely held together with scrap wood. There's some rickety stairs that kind of spiral up, and there's a rectangular counter that's kind of all surrounded on all sides. There's like a whole bunch of supplies and stuff stacked up around it. And there's some benches lining the walls. And Erilyn says, all right, well, pick a spot. This is where we're sleeping tonight.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'll tip my hat and rest again.
When you wake up, the camels are mostly resupplied. You just have to put your other stuff back on there, the stuff that was left over. Erilyn says, all right, we're going to head out. We got a couple more days until we're out of the desert.
I can't wait until we're out of this place. Those 2 days can't come quick enough.
Says, you don't like a little bit of sand?
It gets in my beard, it gets in my toes, it gets in my gloves. I don't like it.
Yeah, so you're heading through the desert, and the boulders become kind of like larger, and you start to feel some like rocks beneath the sand a little bit. As you start to settle in for the night, it looks like Arrow is pretty like worn out from the day's travel. So you actually get like a full night's rest. Like wearing yourself out during the day made it so that you could like sleep extra well. Yeah, so it's the next day, because there's like nothing around, and it's just like the heat of the desert has been like kind of a little bit extra high recently. It's been in like the 90s. It seems like you're going through water and food a little bit more quickly than the last few days. The sand starts to kind of die down, and it gets like a little less windy, and the temperature kind of seems to go back down to like the 80s. So you're kind of worn out throughout the day, but as night approaches, you're kind of like got your second wind, so to speak. Erilyn says, all right, well, tomorrow we'll be passing by Zentil Keep, actually. It's an old kind of abandoned city. Team 1 is actually going to stay behind here until they can get some supplies to supply Team 3 at another hideout that will leave them there, and then they'll catch up with us once we are in Wa.
All right, fair enough.
So they set up like tents and stuff on some boulders. The next day, the sand kind of dissipates, and rocky terrain, and there's you start to see some vegetation again. Heat starts to die down as there's more like kind of moisture around with these trees and some coverage. As it approaches night, you start to see more and more trees, and they start to get taller, and then before you know it, you're kind of going through a forest at night. Erilyn says, all right, Zentil Keep is just on the other side of this forest. So I thought we were going to get there today, but looks like that's not the case.
What's slowing us down?
I mean, we're all kind of tuckered out, so maybe we'll just take an extra long rest at Zentil Keep.
I'll say, hokey dokey.
You wake up in the morning and you start trudging through the forest for about another hour. You come out to a clearing, and you see this like huge city in like ruins. It looks almost the size of like Waterdeep, but all the buildings are decrepit, and it's just like something disastrous happened here at some point, and everything's kind of like overgrown.
Hey, what happened to this place?
Gentle Keep was this place was destroyed by the Shadow Var more than like 100 years ago.
Who are the Shadow Var?
Just like this powerful group of wizards that they started like using power from the Shadowfell to basically turn into like shades and attack people, and then they grew their power from there. And then I don't know, they had some sort of thing against Zental Keep, maybe.
Who used to live here?
It used to be pretty much a giant Zentarum city, but in one of these buildings there should be a little the spot that if anybody's traveling through here, we've kind of set up to be like a little supply point. So that's where Team 1's gonna stay after we leave.
All right, makes sense.
So you're traveling through. You reach the supply point. It's kind of like this dilapidated stone building with like a tree kind of growing out the side of it. And Erilyn kind of moves a rock that's in one of the corners and lifts up like a log and checks it. Yep, someone should be here in a week with a decent amount of supplies, so that should be more than enough for our next stop. And she starts to set up some of her like bedroll and stuff in one of the corners.
Anything you need before we head to sleep?
Nope, we'll be able to get a decent amount of some amount of rest. In the next few days, we'll have to row on the inner sea until we reach. There's a little hideout in the Dragon Jaw Mountains.
My team's pretty experienced when it comes to sea travel, so
I've heard.
you're in good hands.
Rest up for tomorrow. You'll be doing a lot of rowing.
Fair enough. And then I'll tip my hat and go to sleep.
Before Wyatt goes to sleep, can I talk to him?
Yeah?
As we're like getting cozied up and like hunkering down for the night, I'm gonna say to Wyatt, "Hey Wyatt, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Hey, what's that?
You turned into a fox that one time. I was just wondering if you're a fox."
So, I am both fox and humanoid. Both sometimes at the same time. Sometimes I am just one or the other. But in the area we're headed, actually, we're called Henge Yokai. Plenty more where I came from. My parents are the same. And I wouldn't be surprised if we meet a bunch when we head to and Sholung. So keep your eyes peeled. We could be anywhere. And
So are you human?
I'm both, I guess. I guess the best answer is I can be both. I wouldn't say I'm human, and I wouldn't say I'm fox. I'm Henge Yokai. Not quite either fully. I'm a shape changer, and I can basically take the form of what you see now, or a fox, or somewhere in between.
So why do you choose to be human most of the time when you could be a fox? You wanted to. Do you just prefer being a human?
Have you seen these guns?
Fair enough. Can you grow cute fox ears?
In fact, I can. I'll take off my hat and I'll grow my fox ears. You want to touch them?
Yeah, kind of.
I'll bend down and I'll let Arrow touch my fox ears.
I'll scratch Wyatt behind the ears.
And I'll be like, oh yeah, like a good back scratch. Any more questions before we head to bed?
No, I was just curious about that.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask any questions. I'm always happy to answer. Consider you and me good friends from now on. So I'm an open book.
All right, thanks.
No prob. And
Thanks for letting me scratch your cute ears.
I'll say anytime that is convenient. And everyone just witnessed that because I imagine we're in a pretty small room. So enjoy.
The headphones make sense now.
Yeah. Write your fan fiction now.
And so y'all wake up. Erilyn's like, we might not be able to stop anywhere to like set up food. So get your fill in now. And she breaks one of her like hardtack kind of cracker things in half and hands an extra one to Wyatt.
I'll say, what's this for?
Wyatt, and you know you're just waking up, but I just said that we're not gonna get a place to. We're not gonna be able to stop, in our rowing across the inner sea for a couple days. So get your fill in now.
I'll say, yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
So y'all finish eating. Shit's outside. A short walk away from this little hideout. There's some boats underneath foliage that's kind of like put over them, so you didn't know that they were there. And then she flips them over. And she says, "All right, everybody in."
I hop on in.
Yeah, I get in.
Same.
So y'all are in one rowboat, and her and Team 3 are in another boat. And she says, "All right, just stick close. It's kind of windy today, so it's going to be kind of crappy. Yeah, so basically like the whole day the wind is like super strong and like against you, and you feel like you're making like zero progress when you're like rowing. But eventually, it starts to approach night. You see part of Team 3 switches off to do the rest of the rowing while the other ones kind of just like sit there and like take like a little rest. Who was rowing the first day?
Probably me. And we have another strong person, right? Is it Shizeno?
I'm not
Yeah.
strong at all.
I'm strong.
Oh,
The strong one should alternate, one on each team.
yeah.
Yeah, my strength is only +1.
Mine's only +2, to be fair.
I got a +4.
I
Wow.
have a -1.
I have a -1 to wisdom.
Okay, then I think probably Abby and Arrow should team up, and then Shizeno and I should team up.
So the wind calms down a bit, and you seem like you're making good progress on this second day. Everybody's kind of feeling like super hungry. You're just kind of eating like the scraps of the like dry rations. You see like Wyatt starting to like kind of slack and start to like look like they're like overexerting themselves by doing stuff the wrong way, and you're like, no, do it like this. You start to approach the shore that Erilyn is heading towards. You see like a little cave up ahead. She yells back, "Well, run around here. This is Dragonjaw hideout." You get your ships on the this like rocky area. Erilyn kind of instructs you to like put some rocks over the top of those. Inside the cave, it looks like there's some hewn out alcoves. It's kind of a tight fit, but you can kind of squeeze in there. And there's a little bit of a larger area on the inside where you can like kind of sleep for the night. She says, all right, so this is as far as Team 3 is going to go. They're going to kind of keep watch here until Team 1 can meet up with them here. We're not going to be able to go in as one big group. So I'm going to go with you, Team 2, because we'll be passing through the outer plateau of Thay. And they have lots of scrying magic, the ability to detect large groups. So we are going to split up to kind of minimize that. There's not a lot of coverage there, so we're going to be traveling very close to the plateau, just so if anybody's like kind of watching over, they're not seeing us from atop the plateau. We definitely don't want to get on the wrong side of the people of Thay. Arrow, you sleep okay through the night, but you have these weird dreams that like tentacles like whipping you.
Kinky.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the morning. It seems a little bit warmer, the air out here than it has been on the sea, and since the nighttime in like the 50s. You look out past the Dragonjaw mountain range, and you see this huge plateau rising up from the ground. On top of it are these like huge spires with like red flags and stuff billowing out from them. It's a like couple miles off, but it's on this like giant plateau, and it seems like this is like filled with these like spired buildings, like lots of smoke in the air. And you kind of just looking at this like this kind of like gray scale with like red, you just kind of get this like feeling of dread looking over in that direction. And everything around it, there's like no vegetation or anything. It looks kind of like this whole land is just, the life has been sucked out of it.